by watching Dakota. She gets stronger as the rounds go on, and if she hurts you, she's not going to let you go. And that's why she's been tipped as being the the future of the female Muay Thai division.
Flyweight champion of Great Britain.
What if a single fighter could jolt an entire sport and overshadow legends with nothing more than raw talent, razor-sharp discipline, and a layer of rumors that refuse to die down? That's exactly what some people say Dakota has done. In only a few short years, she's broken records, unleashed a flurry of stunning finishes, and turned doubters into silent observers. Fans can't stop talking about her lightning-fast knockouts, her background in Muay Thai, and those persistent whispers about backstage drama. Today, we're going deep into her remarkable rise, her family's fighting legacy, and the controversies that may reveal more than meets the eye. Growing up, Dakota never had the typical morning routine of leisurely cereal and cartoons. Instead, she was making her way to the gym before sunrise, ready to sweat and spar. While her classmates dozed off in math class, she was daydreaming about perfecting that teep kick her mother had taught her. This wasn't the kind of skill set most parents force upon a child. Dakota chose it for herself, inspired by the trophies, medals, and worn-out gloves scattered around her home. Her mother, an all-time great in multiple striking disciplines, had paved a road that seemed impossible to match. But Dakota embraced that daunting heritage and decided to push it even further. By the age of 13, she was no stranger to bruises and black eyes. Mentors and trainers were baffled by her willingness to endure punishing drills. If you asked her why she kept going, she would grin and say that every bruise told a story. There were rumors, too, that her family name gave her special access to training facilities abroad, places where they taught techniques rarely seen in Western gyms. The legitimacy of these claims was never confirmed, but the intrigue only added to her reputation. In the eyes of her friends, Dakota lived in a parallel world where daily life was structured around relentless training regimens and strict diets. Not long after, her talent started to bloom in local Muay Thai competitions. Rather than chipping away at her opponents with points, she aimed to finish them quickly. Onlookers claimed she had a knack for reading an opponent's movements like a seasoned veteran, anticipating counters before they formed. By the time she was 15, she had already earned a couple of regional titles, an unbelievable feat at such a young age. Skeptics began pointing out how unnatural her power seemed for a teenager. Did she have a hidden advantage? Was her style too ferocious for youth tournaments? Whatever the theories, none could override the fact that she was dominating every match placed before her. As the years rolled on, her striking prowess evolved faster than most experts could keep track of. Elbows, knees, devastating clinch work. She had them all. Her mother's influence was undeniable, but Dakota's own dedication turned that influence into something extraordinary. Promoters from amateur circuits whispered that she was too dangerous to face certain fighters, often causing last-minute replacements or cancellations. It became a trend. Managers started steering their young prospects away from any matchup with the British Valkyrie, a nickname that popped up in fan forums. Even so, fans loved seeing her in action. They crowded small arenas just to catch a glimpse of her skill and explosive finishes. Eventually, all that momentum led her to broader stages. She ventured into different striking competitions, sometimes traveling halfway around the world for a single bout. The more she fought, the more her reputation soared. By 16, she had visited training camps in Thailand, honing her clinch and perfecting her elbows under legendary coaches. Photographs soon surfaced online, showing her sparring alongside hardened Thai veterans. In some shots, she looked out of place with her youthful grin, while in others, she appeared completely at home, like she had been doing this for decades. There was an aura around her that no lens could capture, a sort of quiet confidence that had less to do with arrogance and more to do with her unbreakable focus. Still, her insatiable hunger for growth led her to consider the world of mixed martial arts. Many Muay Thai fighters make this transition reluctantly, worried they'll have to compromise their beloved craft for takedowns and grappling maneuvers. But Dakota seemed to take the challenge in stride. Her coaches introduced her to jiu-jitsu, wrestling drills, and ground defense. This was the point when rumors of secret training methods started swirling around yet again. Some even claimed that she had private tutors for specialized grappling in undisclosed locations. The idea of a well-kept, high-level training regimen only fueled the mystery. Whether it was pure speculation or not, one thing was certain. Once Dakota strapped strapped on those small gloves, she became more terrifying than ever. Her amateur MMA run was short but intense, stacked with first-round finishes and eye-catching submission attempts. Critics were quick to question how a Muay Thai phenom could adapt so quickly to the ground game. They speculated about doping, odd diets, or unverified trainers claiming to have taught her secret sauce. Dakota, however, dismissed these accusations with a polite shake of her head. She insisted there was no magic behind her success, only consistent hard work and a willingness to push herself beyond normal limits. Still, the talk persisted. Fans and haters alike found themselves drawn to her unstoppable progress. When she finally turned professional, the world took notice. MMA publications began writing feature articles, highlighting her lethal blend of striking and budding grappling skill. Promoters lined up to sign her, promising big opportunities if she joined their ranks. By that point, she already had a modest following that felt more like a dedicated cult, endlessly sharing clips of her fights on social media. Her highlight reel alone was enough to win her a contract with a major organization. Observers wondered if she would keep racking up knockouts, or if she'd finally face someone who could neutralize her in the grappling department. The tension surrounding her debut was electric. Sure enough, once she stepped into the cage, she let loose with such precision that viewers were left speechless. Her footwork glided from kickboxing angles to wrestling stances in a single breath. A swift elbow or knee would appear out of nowhere, reminding everyone that her Muay Thai roots ran deep. Commentators marveled at her ability to sprawl, scramble, and even threaten with submissions against seasoned veterans. Fighters who took her lightly soon found themselves on the receiving end of punishing blows. Those who attempted to bring her to the mat discovered that her ground game was more advanced than they'd anticipated. But as the victories piled up, so did the chatter behind the scenes. Managers from rival gyms claimed her presence on a fight card was too risky. Seasoned athletes who'd spent years climbing the ranks weren't thrilled about a newcomer stealing the spotlight. Some fans accused her of arrogance, pointing to her cool demeanor and confident pre-fight interviews. Others defended her, suggesting any fighter in her position would carry themselves with the same self-assured aura, especially given her track record. Dakota, for her part, seemed unbothered by the growing friction. She maintained a calm exterior, whether facing the press or stepping onto the weigh-in scale. Soon the conversation shifted to her personal life. How did she juggle so many intense training camps? Did her family's resources grant her an edge in recovery and sports science? People noted her occasional Instagram posts featuring specialized equipment or unfamiliar training locations. Too good to be true. Some said, she's just dedicated, others countered. The debate spilled over into online forums, creating a swirl of theories. Dakota seldom addressed these rumors directly, preferring to let her performances do the talking. Then came a pivotal moment, a period of hardship that threatened to halt her unstoppable rise. Although details are scarce, whispers suggested she faced a major injury that required surgery and months of rehabilitation. Others believed the real challenge was a family emergency that sent her halfway across the globe to care for a relative, forcing her to miss out on crucial competition opportunities. Whatever the truth, she vanished from public view for nearly half a year. Her social media accounts went quiet, fueling all sorts of speculation. Some fans feared she might have retired prematurely. Her critics saw it as confirmation that her success had been unsustainable, but in classic Dakota fashion, she returned just as suddenly, looking stronger and more laser-focused than ever. In her comeback fight, she displayed a level of skill that even her most devoted followers didn't expect. Every strike landed with pinpoint accuracy. Every transition on the ground seemed deliberate. Commentators said she looked like a completely evolved version of herself, as if she had spent her downtime studying high-level competition tape non-stop. Her triumphant return silenced many of those who'd questioned her readiness to fight again. It also reignited the whispers, this time about the possibility of her overtaking the biggest names in the sport. Some fans claimed her star power rivaled that of iconic fighters from the UFC's golden era, pointing to her social media explosion and global fan base. That newfound attention wasn't limited to the cage. Brands outside the MMA world started knocking. She posed for a sports apparel campaign that highlighted her athletic build and impeccable technique. Later, she was spotted at a red carpet event, prompting journalists to wonder if she was branching into mainstream celebrity territory. Her management team remained tight-lipped, but didn't deny the avalanche of offers landing in their inbox. Soon, she was rumored to be in talks with major sports networks for exclusive documentary rights. Even Hollywood producers supposedly reached out to gauge her interest in cameo roles. Dakota smiled when asked about her future, never confirming or denying these deals, leaving everyone guessing. Still, the question remains, could anything ever slow her down? Some critics argue that the wave of fame can be a double-edged sword. One moment, you're on top of the world, and the next, you're fighting just to stay relevant. They point to other fighters who rose just as quickly, only to tumble under the weight of public scrutiny. Each new contract, each new endorsement multiplies the pressure. Dakota seems to thrive on that pressure, feeding off the energy of the cameras and the roaring crowds. But she's also human, susceptible to the kind of mental and emotional strain that any superstar faces. Will she keep riding this high, or will an unforeseen challenge eventually catch up with her? Her inner circle, including her mother and a few close friends, remains fiercely protective. They seldom grant full interviews, and when they do, they offer only generic praise for Dakota's work ethic and unwavering discipline. They also note her philanthropic interests, hinting at hush-hush donations to combat sports charities and local gyms in underprivileged areas. This philanthropic side rarely makes headlines, overshadowed by her knockout reels and glamorous photo shoots, but it reveals a softer layer beneath her hardened exterior. If anything, it makes her even more intriguing, a fighter who can crush an opponent in under a minute, yet still find time to support communities in need. Looking to the future, there's already talk of a blockbuster showdown with a famed veteran from a rival promotion. Fans salivate at the idea of a cross-promotional super fight that could shatter viewing records. Promoters keep the details under wraps, but the rumor mill churns on, whispering that negotiations are in advanced stages. If it happens, it could be the biggest women's MMA clash in years, possibly in decades. Imagine the unstoppable prodigy pitted against an aging legend with everything on the line, exactly the kind of narrative that grips the mainstream. Friends and foes alike wonder if this is where Dakota will finally meet her match, or if her momentum is simply too strong to be derailed. Ultimately, Dakota's story goes far beyond the ring or the cage. It's a tale of unwavering ambition fueled by a mix of family legacy, natural talent, and strategic career moves. Her journey isn't just about collecting belts or setting records, it's about changing the landscape of an entire sport. She's a beacon of possibility for anyone who's ever been told they're too young, too inexperienced, or too radical in their approach. Whether you love her, hate her, or stand somewhere in between, it's impossible to remain indifferent when she steps into the spotlight. So where does she go from here? With each resounding victory, Dakota seems to draw the world closer, pulling fans into every jab, every elbow, every heart-stopping finish. At the same time, the controversies and rumors only tighten their grip, leaving us to wonder what's really happening behind her confident gaze. Is it all genuine skill and discipline, or are there hidden layers to her success? Will she keep rewriting the record books, or will she stumble when the burden of hype becomes too heavy? Those answers remain elusive, and perhaps that's the greatest part of Dakota's appeal. She's an open-ended question, one that can't be solved until she steps into that cage for the next round. So keep your eyes peeled, pay attention to the training camps, the whispered speculation, and the hush-hush negotiations for dream matchups. Because if Dakota's journey has taught us anything, it's that every time we think we figured her out, she's about to shock us yet again.